Hello.
Hi guys,
Welcome back
welcome back to another episode
of The Time Is Now.
with Rukama and Batia Goldston. This is episode
18.
18. So would you like to introduce the topic of our episode?
The topic today is peace and pieces. What happened to the pieces of our peace when we allow someone else to disturb our peace? And what happened to us when we find ourselves in pieces? What does that mean?
What does that mean?
Have you ever been in pieces? What does that mean? Are you whole or are you teeny tiny pieces of the existence of you? And when are you in peace and when are you not in peace? And
Yeah.
what kind of affect that?
Yeah. So let's start off with a round of questions from the Talking Hearts deck. So we're each going to pull a card and then we'll go from there.
Alrighty.
Let's see. Let's explore.
Alrighty. I'm going to switch because you're still single. So, when do you feel the most creative?
When do I feel the most creative? The most creative. Man, I'm just switching out cards. But I feel the most creative probably when I'm painting. When I'm painting, I feel the most creative. But that's funny because, like, for me, in order for me to paint, in order for me to be in a season, let's tap into words, that I paint, I have to be really, like, very peaceful, very calm, very relaxed for me to even pick up a canvas and start. Because, like, even right now, like, I've been trying to paint, I'm not trying to do nothing.
You know what?
I'm not doing it.
Trying is lying because you're not doing it.
But I've been sort of playing with it in my mind, like, you know what, today and it's like it takes a different level of calm for me to paint. But yeah, that's probably when I feel the most creative, because I just be making stuff up, like I'm just doing whatever, but it's like it flows so naturally for me. Where do you feel the most creative?
Probably in writing.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't have to be in peace or still or anything. But if I am processing anything heavy, I'm in stitches, I can't figure my way out, I'm not in flow or I'm in deep flow, then I can always create a piece.
Yeah.
And that piece is always so creative. It has so many variables to it.
Yeah.
So in writing. And I would probably say one of my greatest attributes is creativity.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm always in creation and I understand it. And the next best place will be when I'm actually in therapy with people.
Yeah.
I just feel, that's when I feel at total peace for the presence of whatever this big spirit that flows through me.
Yeah.
I feel very, 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 very creative and very at peace and very playful.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's so funny, and it's interesting, right? Because let's say in the past year or like a little before that too, but I've taken up writing more as like a tool. I think, like, let's say when I'm writing raps, I feel overly creative. Like, what? How did my mind just think of that? Do y'all, like, can anybody tap into the bigger picture of what I just said? But then it's like when I think about it, because you said like in processing, like, and stuff. So like when I use it for processing, it doesn't feel creative.
wow.
It is creative, right?
Right.
In effect, it is creative, but that was just interesting to me.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So my question to you is, what do you feel the most confident giving advice on?
Probably just myself. Because I feel like everybody has their own pathway, their own journey. And when I give advice about something that I've experienced or I've done, then I can speak on it or from it from a more personal level rather than giving you advice on how you should handle your life and what you should do, because basically it's my understanding that people know what to do. And sometimes when we touch upon something that resonate with a person, then it become advice to them. But
Yeah.
basically, giving advice is useless for me if it's not something that I understand well,
Yeah.
or even understand a little bit. But it's my personal experience.
Yeah.
What about you?
I would say, like, honestly, the same. I would honestly just say the same. Like, when I'm talking about maybe not an action of exact situation, but maybe more of like a framework, maybe more of a feeling. Like, you know, like if we talking about a specific feeling or a specific angle of something, then I think I'm able to give advice on it. And I think it does ultimately come from my own experience and how I've navigated things. But usually it's just what you wanted to hear, what you would have wanted to hear, what would have helped you, you know, in hindsight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That too.
Wisdom that you've learned, like, from an experience. And it's not applicable to everybody and to every situation, but
A lived experience.
Yeah,
Because I can give you
yeah.
advice on either something that I wanted someone to share with me when I felt like I needed some advice and they didn't. Then I'm
Yeah.
going to give it to you from that point of view, that this was something that was missing for me and maybe is missing for you.
Yeah.
Or something that I actually,
lived and learned through.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, I can share this because I lived and learned through this.
Yeah.
All right. I don't think I can ask you this one, but we should switch for the next ad. Give me yours. I just like to stick to the card we choose instead of flipping it. So.
But no, we already asked each other.
Oh,
So
we
then
already
can
asked
move
her?
on. Yeah.
All right.
All right, y'all. So now
Okay.
we're getting into peace of mind, pieces and pieces of peace.
Oh, wow. So, for you, what does that mean? How does that land on you?
How does it land on me? How does it translate? I think just for my own self, I can say in my own life, then it's like being at peace to me is like being present and being grounded in the present moment of whatever is unfolding. So it doesn't have to be this external, like everything is super calm, everything is super whatever and serene and sterile, but it's just my own ability to stand within myself and to be grounded and aware and not like spiraling to here or to there, to the past, to the future, to what about this and what about that. It's like that. And I think when I am not anchored enough to stand in that, to be in that space, then there's ultimately a piece of me that's drifting somewhere else that I can't grab, or I can't, not even grab, but I just can't be still enough to see. So it's like, I just imagine in my own mind, like, you know how like a tornado come and just pick everything up. And so some stuff might stay grounded and it floats right over it. But then it's like those other parts of you or pieces of you that get swept up in the storm and you start feeling any kind of way. I'm just feeling anything. I'm feeling like, what? I'm feeling like, who you feeling like? I'm feeling like, what am I doing? I'm feeling like all of these things that are, if I'm able to be more honest with myself, quite frankly, irrelevant. So irrelevant. So, like, what am I even on about? But it's like in that moment, something can hit you and it can feel like this just big storm.
What a great metaphor.
Yeah.
I actually had a storm yesterday. If I consider that same thought on what is peace for me, peace is preparation, right? So for the past month, I was preparing for this test that I had to take. Of course, the test was an unknown. I didn't know what was going to be on the test. And it's almost like every single thing I studied none of it landed on the page when I got to the test. I know how to analyze an article well now, but something happened yesterday that was just incredible. Like, I decided that I was going to take some advice and carry a jar of castor oil with me to put on this spot on my arm it was just doing something unbelievable. So I carried it with me in my backpack. And as soon as I got to the place that I was taking the test at, lo and behold, the cap came off. My backpack was full of castor oil, sticky. I'm trying to figure out, should I clean it up right now? Should I wait? But if I wait and I get up and go to the restroom, I can slip, I can fall. I didn't saw the preparation of what is going to be. So I stop, I clean it up. And then I quickly open up my computer and I say, okay, well, let me just have the computer open so when 8:30 hit, I can get the article. I see that they sent the test early. I had so many things that I was going to do to prepare myself. I was going to put my meditation music on. I was going to organize the paper that I wanted to take notes on. Just get the paper and the pen out so I could jot things down. And before I knew it, everything rolled in so quickly. And I was in action. I was in full action without slowing down to gather the pieces of me to be prepared for the test that I had studied for the entire month.
Yeah.
And it's like I found myself not understanding the article, reading it 3 times, going through the cycle that I was supposed to have, like read the abstract, read the conclusions, take the first, make sure I read the last chapter and the last paragraph and then the first paragraph in the introduction. And I studied well and prepared myself. And none of that seemed to happen. And then I looked on the clock on the computer and I was like, oh my God, a half an hour went past and I was supposed to have done this part of it. And I caught myself for a second. I got still, but I really wasn't still because I didn't start still. I started very scattered. All of my pieces were all over the place. And I just remember being midway and realizing that an hour and a half had passed and I had another hour and a half to complete it. And I panicked. Mm-hmm. And I started crying. And I was like, oh my God, I feel so lost. I barely answered one question and it's a 4-part question and everything I have for page and everything just creeped in. And then I had a moment with myself that I just told myself, sit, be still, answer the questions to the best of your ability. And when you get finished, you're going to be finished. But we don't run.
Yeah.
We don't give up. That's like another strong point of mine is determination. So in order to see if I failed or passed, I first have to get to the end of it. And I just remember calling Bati as soon as I got finished and turned the paper in. First of all, I turned it in. I attached it the first time and I realized I didn't do the basics, ABCs, like line my words up.
Yeah.
They were just words. I didn't get a chance to read over it or anything. And I jumped back. It was 11:25, and I attached it, and then I went back and I said, hey, you have been to college. You understand, you write papers all the time.
Yeah.
You turn in work. First thing first, Control A, put everything in the same font, the same size, 12, 1.5, like just put it in some basic formatting that had just escaped me. And then I deleted and put it back on, like reattached it. And when I sent it in, I felt miserable. I felt like I failed. I felt like everything I had learned and studied, I didn't put any of the concepts in it. And I was like, what was the point?
Yeah.
But was the point for me to pass the test or was the point for me to be present for the test? What exactly was the piece in that moment?
Yeah.
And yesterday was a shatter. Like, I couldn't grab it. I couldn't get myself together. I was speaking, being compassionate with myself, and then the day kept going. So one of the things that really do well for me is to have something afterwards that I have to do. So I had to get back to the Dimona office. I had to meet a client who was gracious with me and waited for me to come. And then we me and my coworker facilitating a group on reduction of anxiety. So it was just so perfect because we started the icebreaker, and I kept just standing there when the ball was thrown at me. I said, I just can't wait to tell y'all that I am in anxiety. Like, and I pray when we get to the end of this, your facilitator is out of it. You know, it's always wonderful for me to share a piece of me to make it even more real rather than running and hiding from it. And as part of the process, when I shared it, everybody just started laughing. It was like, oh, wow, look at you, right?
Yeah.
And I appreciate and love that about myself, about letting my pieces fall apart. They don't have to be in control. And when I woke up this morning, I was in so much gratitude and so much peace that I did the test. At the end of the day, I don't get to dictate what they're even looking for. I did it. I did it to the best of my ability. I get accepted. I don't get accepted to the thesis program. Nothing is going to happen.
Yeah.
And maybe it's not the time for me to do it because I understand the information. At that moment, I just couldn't deliver the information as I had studied it to be. So we'll wait and we'll see.
Mm-hmm. That's the process. Interesting, like the areas that we find ourselves stuck in.
My goodness.
Or like, you know, the certain maybe even preconceived notions we have about ourselves and how we do in certain environments. Like the story that you tell yourself, like, you know, I think a lot of people, and this is not, you know, I'm sure this is based on, you know, your own experiences with it, but it's like how somebody will say, yeah, I'm a bad tester.
Right.
I do bad in testing. Yeah. But then it's like, isn't that a story that you're telling yourself about yourself?
Right.
Mm-hmm. A sort of self-fulfilling prophecy. Interesting.
And I didn't go in telling myself that.
Yeah.
I actually went in saying, I'm prepared.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like when I'm the most prepared, it's like I'm not present. Yeah. I'm not in my peace because I'm prepared. I'm in preparation. So I'm prepared to regurgitate what I learned. But actually, I probably even in the scatteredness, was in the most peace just to answer the questions and to show what my abilities are and what the things I still have to learn.
Yeah.
And just to be gentle with myself while I'm in pieces, while the pieces are scattered, and coming back home.
Yeah.
Like I came back home to myself actually last night when we got your results. But that was a moment of hardcore come back home.
Yeah.
But I'd had, let's just say, from 8:30 in the morning until 7 o'clock, I was scattered. Mm-hmm. And have you ever had a day that
the whole day was scattered? Yeah.
And what did you do with that? Because I still functioned.
Yeah.
How much of me did I give away?
Yeah.
To nothing, to things that are irrelevant, to things that don't matter.
Mm-hmm. I think even like she said results, but I got a scope yesterday, and I think this whole past period of these past couple of months, I've been having like mini Crohn's flares. Like I don't really know what's going on. Like it's kind of here and there, and I had just I realized a while ago though, but this was an unraveling. I remember I was in a grocery store and I was like trying to get something. I was going to grab these like protein bars and they looked healthy. And I was like, man, I need to be eating. Cause I found myself like really not really eating that much. And I'm like, am I not eating because I can't eat, or am I not eating because I'm just telling myself like, don't eat this, don't eat this, don't eat this. And I'm just moving in a lot of fear. And I remember standing there and I remember grabbing for it and I remember like putting it back immediately. And this was something like overly healthy. I'm like, girl, you can definitely eat this. Like you wouldn't even grab this on a regular day. And it's like a moment that I recognized in myself, like this whole time I just been scattered and feeling like this, and the third, and I don't have any results. I don't have any. I've taken no tests. I've taken no initiative to go get checked out either. I'm just like, whatever. And from that moment forward, even though it's been with me these past couple of months, but it was like from that moment forward, I'm like, first of all, eat.
Awareness.
Yeah, I'm like, whoa, first of all, let's eat. This is not the end all be all. And if you are in a situation, you still need to be eating. Like that's so important. And I was kind of feeling like with the type of Crohn's that I was diagnosed with, it was like stricturing. And so that's like basically like your gut will inflame, like it'll inflame, and then when it goes down, it leaves a scar tissue. And this is why when I was 16, I had to get a surgery to literally have a section of my colon, small intestine,
that's part of the colon,
cut out, because it had just been so strictured over like periods of inflammation and going back down. So when I was feeling the inflammation too, I'm like, in my mind, sort of, there's a backdrop of fear of like, oh my God, this is stricturing, and even a lot of shame, I think, around like maybe being given like a sort of another chance, and then I don't take care of myself. So it was like a lot of mixed feelings, and like just me in my own self of like self-judgment, a lot of self-judgment of like, girl, what are you doing? And then there were moments maybe in the past couple of the past month or whatever. I remember it was just one day and I was just having a moment. I'm like, this is so okay and fine. And literally I'm breaking down. First you got to start off, oh my God, the best breakdowns happen throughout your whole house. You start off somewhere, you end up somewhere else. I'm like on the bathroom floor crying. I'm like, oh my God. But it's like not in a everything is horrible, all is lost type of way, but just in a releasing myself from certain expectations and judgments and ideas. And once I had the scope plan, I'm like, soon enough, I'm going to see exactly what is going on, because I was really scared of like, maybe it's strictured, maybe it got at the part that they did the surgery, maybe it's strictured, maybe it's not as good as maybe I've been thinking I am. And also just like being kind and understanding with myself that like these past couple years, especially alone, have been really hard, really super, super hard, more than I ever was able to acknowledge before you came back, because then it's like, oh my God, I'm falling apart. I'm not getting back up. I'm not getting back up. If I crumble right now, it's just over with. That's how I was feeling within myself. And I realized that. And it's also like, going forward, I know that I don't have to do that. It doesn't have to be this like, all right, by the time you're going to hold everything together and everything is cool and everything is fine, and allowing myself to feel what I feel and to fall apart, and to know that even if I'm completely alone and I have no one, I'm never alone. I've never been alone in my whole life, and seasons of every season that I've been alone that I thought I was never going to get through, and I made it through. So just interesting, being able to be kind and patient with yourself, and then any kind of belief and self-judgment that I would have about like, okay, well, what that occupies so much of my brain space, whether I was talking about it or not. So it was such a relief to get the results, and for him to say that like it's there's no sign of any inflammation, and that the site of the surgery is like perfectly healed and perfectly fine. So it was such a big relief for me. I think I'm just now like, because that was yesterday, so now I'm just now today even just like breathing into it.
That was a moment of peace for me, and stillness and just love.
And now I can look back in the moment that I'm in right now, and I can see that all of this fear and all of this, in my mind of like, well, what is it going to be? And what if it's like this? And what if it's like this? Was completely irrelevant. And I just ran myself in circles, mostly because a part of me wasn't grounded in knowing that, I guess, that I took good care of myself. I did the best that I could.
And knowing that everything was okay no matter what.
Yeah.
No matter what, no matter how it turns out, because we spend so much time putting ourselves in little bitty pieces and stories and themes and what ifs. No matter what, I found that no matter what it is or how it shows up, I'm still okay. The peace still comes through me. I'm able to regenerate whatever that was. I'm able to have that moment and look at that moment and analyze that moment. And I get a gift because I get to see new parts of me that I never
Yeah.
saw before. I never saw myself this afraid of this category in my life. Like, what? You should see my journal was like, what are we doing? How did this girl,
Yeah.
And I'm so grateful that it came before I started school because it gave me an opportunity for
To
the
work
next
through
2
it,
months
yeah.
to work through it. So when I show up, I'm going to show up like the boss that I am,
Yeah.
right? It's just another version of something that maybe in my past I was stuck in. I
Yeah.
already got 1 degree. I passed tests.
Yeah.
So that's a lie that I can't. It's a lie that I need to be scattered. It's even a lie that I don't know if I should say this is a lie or not, but I swear I got ADHD and being able to zoom in and focus. That's something that I've discovered in the last year being home and going to work. Like I literally almost start work every day at 3:00. I have clients.
Yeah.
I sit with my clients, but any kind of office work that I need to do, I need everybody to be out the office. And just me and my one coworker that stays there late. And we have the best time. It's almost like 6:00 it's time to pack up and I'll be knee deep in. I am present.
Yeah.
I'm able to do the work. And I love discovering these aspects of myself because I don't have to be hard on myself, which
Yeah.
means that I showed up for a test at 8:30 in the morning. I probably should have did less preparation with the material and more preparation with understanding that time of morning, my focus is usually
Yeah.
kind of scattered. My pieces are somewhere else, which that's good for me to know.
Yeah.
So what kind of awareness do we have about the pieces of ourselves and what categories impact those pieces?
Yeah. That's funny because, like, whenever you say that, I'm always reminded of, like, being in the Army, and I worked an office job, and it's like during the morning, I would just know. During the morning hours, I'm just doing arbitrary busy work, basically. Like, you would ask me to do something, I'm like, yep, of course, I got you. But then it's like my real work that I knew that I had to do, that I had to lock in for, I could only do it, like, I'm going to say after 1, but really, honestly, probably around, like, after 3. After, like, everybody's kind of scattered out and doing their thing, and it can be me, and I can play my music, or I can really focus in on certain things. So it's important to know how you work and how you function and what makes sense for you.
And what places in your life there's still work to be done.
Yeah.
Because we all are work in progress and we all pieces of the whole holographic of everything and everybody. So for all of those who have a hard time with testing or being able to focus and bring yourself home, be gentle with yourself.
Yeah.
And be gentle with your children and people around you who those parts of them don't come so easy.
Mm-hmm.
Or like Bachi said about her scope, be gentle with yourself. Fall apart. Let all the pieces fall apart. I promise you, it is going to be a reason for you to get back up, put them all back together, and keep going. And life is always good. God or energy or source or whatever you refer to it as is in every moment, in every room, in every space. How do you know that? Because you're breathing.
Yeah.
And you don't provide your own breath. So there's a presence that's always there with you to bring you back into your peace. But first, for me, is to become aware of when you are not in your peace and the pieces of your peace are scattered.
Yeah.
Is it something somebody says to you? Is it your reaction? Sometimes we have pieces inside of us that we have hidden, and they so tucked so deeply that just a simple conversation can bring you into a whole conversation that you hearing yourself and you asking, wait a minute, why am I having this conversation?
What am I doing?
What's going on? What am I doing? And I always say, go get you some help.
Yeah.
I had a conversation last weekend with my mother and my daughter that immediately had me go find me a therapist. And on the first day of the week, on Sunday, I am going to sit in somebody's office on this subject matter because I can't process it by myself. And my mother and my daughter, they're not the address for all this heaviness that I'm carrying. And to help me make a decision that has already been made for me, I just have to walk through the pages of it.
Yeah.
The decision has been made. I don't know what the decision is, but I know it's been made, and I know that I'm going to be good with whatever it is.
Yeah.
You know?
And it's also, like, again, like, knowing that no matter the outcome,
Right.
that you're going to be good and you're going to be fine, and how much value do we give to certain things, and what things do we think can take from us? Like, we think this thing, okay, this, if this result is like this, what do you believe is being lost, and how can your essential essence and your essential core ever be lost?
Right, that's good.
And
Because what's lost? That part. What's lost? What's lost? Why are you in this state of stitches?
Yeah.
What's lost?
What's lost? What do you believe is lost? What do you believe is the cost of whatever the thing is? And I think when we say about, like, let's say how we're created in God's image and the image and likeness of God, it's like, if God is holy and we believe him to be holy, how could we not be?
And what is holy? It really make you go in and ask all of these questions, because, like, if I make the decision that I desire to decide, and it's a decision that's for my well-being, why do I have so many layers of reasons why this decision can't be made?
Yeah.
My blackness, my therapist. What would you think about me? What does this mean about me? What my family? What's going to be their reaction?
Yeah.
But I'm not at peace with myself. So I have to discover my own peace, and I have to shed all of those, Bati said she was feeling ashamed. Did I not take care of myself well? It sent me down this loophole to memory lane that was so skewed and not in reality to all the parts of it. Because when you get in that loop and that peace, it take you on a journey, and it narrow you. It puts you in a box. It only lets you see this little thing that you harping on, when it was such a beautiful painting that you was just walking through. But the only thing you could see is that little spot with that square on it. That square right there, they only painted that black.
Yeah. Painting is so interesting that you just said that, because I think oftentimes in art, I think, wow, this is a part of why I really do love the creative process of it, is because a lot of times in art, what's his name? Bob Ross. Anyways, that there are no mistakes in art, but it's like a lot of times if you come in close on a painting, the things look distorted. It doesn't look like how it looks from far away. Every brushstroke is different, and the pressure that you apply with everything is different, and it's like when you step away from it, you can see this whole beautiful painting. And if you were so focused in on the small details, you might look at that and say, well, that's not right, and that's not that. And then you zoom out and you can see this whole beautiful painting. And I think a part of, even with my own like spiral with that is why it didn't really spiral like into what it could have or what it would have before. Even with the shame, I was working through a lot of it real time as it came, but a lot of it is just like being curious about your own thoughts, and knowing that when I was having these thoughts and when I was having these experiences, it was just showing me another aspect of myself. It was just showing me another part of myself that I'm like, whatever it is, I don't have to hold judgment towards myself for this thing. I think, because I'm thinking this right now in real time, I just thought about like with the Crohn's and the initial diagnosis and stuff. And I think this overwhelming feeling like this is my fault. And so then when it comes back up, but that's something that I had to work through.
But that's usually how the pieces come apart. Yeah. I'm blaming myself for something.
Exactly.
If I take myself back to last weekend, it was definitely, I was so naive. I didn't know nothing. I wasn't smart enough to know this. I didn't have the awareness that I have today. And so what?
Yeah.
I love the metaphor of the painting, because that's something beautiful that you can see in your own life. What if your life is the canvas?
Yeah.
And what if every stroke that you take is a perfect stroke? Because that's the stroke that's on the picture of your canvas today.
Yeah.
And tomorrow, it's no going back and changing all your paint that you just painted with and say, oh, you know what? I'm going to pour water on that and I'm going to remove that.
Yeah.
That's a part of the picture.
Yeah.
And the picture is steady being created.
Always.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Always. But I think like in that moment, I think it gave me an opportunity, as much as it was like met with fear initially. The moment that I was able to meet it with curiosity of like, why do I feel like this? Or like, what is this telling me about like, what is this sitting on that I feel this such a big, intense reaction to something that's honestly not that serious. Like, to be honest, if I can be completely honest and stable with myself right now, it's not that serious. So why is my reaction so big? So while it was a storm and it dismantled so many things, it gave me an opportunity to really see the spaces in myself that I was still holding on to a lot of like guilt and shame and judgment towards myself of like, you know, this is my fault, you know, and being able to work through it in real time and being curious about it and knowing that that there is a part of me that is untouched by all of this, always, you know. And even if this is the case in the scenario, then how can I still be okay with myself? Right. How can I still be kind to myself even through the hard moments? Because I think it's like you feel like you in a hard moment. It's like now I gotta go extra hard on me. Now I gotta, and it's like,
and I gotta make a decision right now.
And it's like,
be still and know that I'm God.
Yeah, and it's just being able to really take a moment to breathe and to know that even through this, even if all of these things that you maybe believe about yourself, even if every single one of them is true, there's still a part of you that is your core essence that is untouched, unmarked, and unaffected by these things. And when you are able to accept even like the perceived truth in them, if you're able to sit in that like, okay, and if this is true, then like I noticed within myself and in my own experience that most things, they just dissolve. Like it's not even that relevant. It's not even that big.
But they say if you leave the water, if you're in a storm and you try to control the water, it just intensifies the water.
Yeah.
But eventually the water from every storm has
to
dissolve, calm itself down.
Yeah.
And you are 70% water. So if your storm shows up and your waters are storming, what will happen if you was able to allow yourself an opportunity to calm down? Mm-hmm. I think one of the best things that I have found is in the census. So when I came back from the test and everybody was in the office, the first thing I needed was a physical hug.
Yeah.
I just needed a hug. I needed to tell somebody, oh my God, I feel, and I got this big hug from Orion. And then after that, my client was waiting for me and it was so beautiful. She said, I don't care about a test. I don't care if you passed or didn't pass. For me, you're the tops. And I needed to hear that in that moment, because in that moment, I didn't feel that way. Yeah. Even though it was still, before I took the test and after I took the test, who I am was still present. But somehow, like, we get so locked into the storm. Mm-hmm. Just be still. And by the time the end of the night came, it was just so much stillness. Like I went to bed in total peace. I have a song that, you know, we say rest in peace for the dead, right? And really, they're resting in peace. We're not resting in peace. Yeah. So I always say, rest in peace when you go to sleep. Rest in peace, rise in peace, and go in peace throughout your day.
Yeah, that's nice.
Mm-hmm.
Breathing, breath work is so important. I did a ice bath and breath work workshop with Dael. Y'all should definitely go do it. It was so good. And even like some of the breathing exercises, like I'll be at work or I'll be listening to a podcast or something, and I'm like, you know what, let me just do some little breathing. Let me just do some little breath work. And it just is so calming, and it just brings you back into the present moment in a way that is just so beautiful. And it's such a small act. It's such a small act, and it takes like you have your breath with you at all times. So,
and the somatic, any kind of somatic process that you can do, connecting your body. One that's very, very simple is actually just to do this.
Yeah.
Breathe with it. And allow yourself just to release a lot of the stress, because a lot of stress
Yeah.
is held in this area. And then another one that's very simple is to drain the lymphatic, and because a lot sit in your jaw when you get tight.
Yeah.
So if you could remember to just, give yourself the touch that you need, and be present with yourself while you in the process of whatever process you in.
And give yourself a hug. You
Right.
can always give
Right.
yourself a hug. I think even like with the ears, there's one like you can go ears, you can go down your throat,
Right.
beat your chest.
Yeah. And there's a complete exercise. Tapping, of course.
Yeah.
Tapping.
EFT tapping,
Ooh,
you guys.
the
Tapping.
greatest. That's childhood. Like,
Yeah, we grew up on that. We grew up on tapping.
so even if you don't have an opportunity to tap because you feel like you're in a place where you can't tap, any form of tapping that you
Yeah.
can go in, you don't have to talk. Just tap yourself. Just
Yep.
bring yourself back. It bring you into your physical body.
Yeah.
And a lot of what gaining peace is when you're in a storm, you basically can't see 5 things in your environment because
Yeah.
the storm has taken your vision and it's wrapping it. So if you can pause for a minute and just see 5 things in your environment, you can color code it. You can say, "Show me 5 things that are green.
Yeah.
Let me listen to 4 sounds.
Mm-hmm.
What 3 smells do I have?
Yeah.
What can I touch? The difference between the carpet and the floor.
Yeah.
Hold the chair. And use your 5 senses as your guide to bring you back into peace with
Yeah.
yourself. A lot of mindfulness.
Uh-huh.
But even awareness that I'm not
In a
able
state,
to see,
yeah.
that's mindful.
Yeah. It takes that spark of awareness in that moment of
Curiosity and gratitude.
and
They
gratitude, yeah. And how they're
self-compassion.
interconnected.
Mm-hmm.
Very important.
So what do you think about peace?
Peace and peace of mind.
And pieces of yourself that get scattered to peace? And what places do your peace get scattered or is in a storm and you're not able to be still and know that you are God and present and that you yourself can never be affected by anything that's going on because there's a wholeness inside of you that remains.
Yeah. Yep. I love that.
I love it, period. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see where this episode goes and who needed to hear this conversation.
Yeah, right.
Love that we never have an idea on where the conversation is going to go. We just show up fully with ourselves.
Yeah.
And pray this contribution to you. And as always, I pray that we're a household favorite and that you share us with your friends and family because we're sharing ourselves as a testimony and as an instrument that just as we are doing our work and processing through it, you too can do it no matter where you are and what state you're in.
Mm-hmm. And oftentimes it really just takes one spark of curiosity and questioning and accepting who you are and where you are on your journey and being all right with it.
And if people place you in a place in an energy that you are always this way and so they don't know how to handle it when you are not this way, still allow yourself to be that not that way. Because I find myself, because of the work I do and because of the magnitude of vastness that travels through me, I find that when I'm not present or I'm having a scattered moment, that it's always like, oh girl, you know you got it.
You know how to manage
you
that.
did that. You passed it. Don't even worry about that. And sometimes you just need that moment to be in your pieces until you're able to come back. And I'm so grateful with myself that I'm able to allow myself to do it. And I just ask what else is possible at all times. And when I'm in peace, when the peace feels perfect and I'm in total harmony, what else is possible?
Yeah.
What is it about me that I don't know?
Yeah.
And then when I'm not, what else is possible?
Yeah. It just made me think about, I'm like, and who are the people in your life that can hold you while you're in
Your
pieces,
storm.
in your
pieces.
storm? And how important that is and
Super.
how beautiful that is.
Because human connection is so necessary.
Yeah,
And
it is.
We can't walk alone. We never alone, really, ever. But the feeling of being alone is one of the things that will spiral you into
for sure.
that storm.
For sure.
Who do you call when your storm is high? Or who calls you?
Yeah.
And what do you need? Have you taken a moment to ask yourself what
do you need? What do you want? What actually helps you?
Yeah.
What makes you feel,
Wow. I hope this has been a contribution.
Yeah, we sure do.
You have something else you want to share?
I don't. I
All
don't.
right. Well, let's grab another question and see where it goes. What a beautiful question.
Okay.
How old were you when you had your first drink?
How old was I when I had my first drink? Girl. How old was I when I had my first drink? Like, drink, maybe around, like, 16, 17-ish. But, like, first drink, probably, like, I don't know. Nah.
Wow. For certain, older than 21.
Oh, man. Yeah, you beat the limit. You made the limit.
Of course, because that wasn't na 4 kilo. It wasn't it wasn't part of my life and my experience in no type of way. Like, who drank alcohol in any way? And I don't even have a memory of the first drink. And yeah.
Mm-hmm. So my question is, what's something you would like to be better at but don't feel like you have the time?
True secret. I would love to have time to refurbish, to collect stuff that is thrown out and recreate it.
Yeah.
I love doing that.
Girl,
and
I
I
do
don't
too.
have time right now to do it. And occasionally I bring something home and it just still sits. Like I have this little table that I brought home that I was going to refurbish and I haven't had time to do it. So I am claiming that September is my month of fun. It's a month before I go back to school. So I'm gonna see if I can make that happen.
I think for me, we've been on a painting vibe, but definitely painting.
Yeah.
And I do have the time for it, to be honest, but it's just setting aside a moment. Yeah. So I would say painting and, painting. And all right, y'all.
You ain't asking the other side?
Oh, you want to ask?
I mean, it's a good question.
Mine isn't, so you can ask yours.
So pick another one. Maybe the audience want to have it. Who knows? And what you think is not good may be perfect for someone else. So I ask, how have I changed since you first met me?
Vastly. In every direction.
Because you first met me in the delivery room, which is incredible. How have you changed since I first met you?
Yeah, how have you changed greatly, but how have you changed?
Well, let's just take it.
I think you've come into a more whole and complete version of yourself, first of all. So I think it's, echoed in that realm.
Same for you. But I think that you came, when I first met you, you was already complete and whole. Hey. And that was when I go back to that moment of my first meeting with you, I just remember holding you and me and your Abba being there. And I remember when the doctor came in, first of all, when they placed you on me, it was just like everything about you was perfect. And I remember the doctor coming in and saying, everything about her is round and pink. She's so perfect. So that was my first interaction with you. And it is how I've seen you grow throughout the years. Just perfect.
That is so beautiful. Oh my God. What is something that you are willing to splurge on?
Something I'm willing to splurge on? Seem like everything.
Girl, I was about to say, man, everything.
I don't place no limitations on myself. If it's something there, but if we experiences, knowledge,
sure.
definitely knowledge. I'll go to a workshop. I'll go to a retreat for the experience, for the knowledge. I'll travel, a book.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, I'll splurge on it if it's going to connections, definitely connections, events, and knowledge.
Yeah. I would say same. But I would even food, clothes, experiences. It's never too much to me. It's always like, all right, well, I guess that's the price.
And what about you? What are you willing to splurge on? Are there things that you're not willing to splurge on that you would like
Yeah.
to splurge on? That you create a story
Shoes,
around?
I'm so not willing to splurge on. I was just talking about this the other day. Shoes, like, I just don't get it. I know people definitely get it. Like, they spend big money on shoes. To me, I don't know. I'm like, what?
Definitely a splurge. I want
Buy me some shoes.
Yes. All right, y'all.
All right, y'all.
Love you all.
Love you all.
Share us with your friends and families, and we pray that we
Amen.
become a household favorite.
One love.